Welcome to the Remote Revenues channel. I'm your host Vince, and today I'm going to do another wheel option strategy live. Hope you guys enjoyed yesterday's. Yesterday's actually was my first, but this will probably be the first one that I actually save for future purposes. So this is actually technically my second stream, but that's okay. I'll probably be building off of this one going forward. A part of this channel I want to do is actually highlighting various charities, because I really feel like a channel where I could help people understand how they can make extra income, whether it be a side income or the main source of income. I believe that I should only do that if we are able to share that income with others, of course, in the community. So for that reason, I'll be sharing different charities that I'll be spotlighting. I'm not affiliated with any of these charities, so just keep that in mind. I just happen to find some, and I think they're worthy. If this channel does well and it grows, and I have more people that can give me some of their suggestions, I'll be happy to show charities that I think that could be worthwhile and we could see. In any case, there's one on here. It's called Many Hopes. I found that to be very impactful. At least myself, I'm looking into it. They basically look for people that are in impoverished areas and give them an education, give them tools necessary so that way they can go back in the community and make changes. I can fully testify that their videos are much more powerful than what I've said. So please watch their videos, learn about their story. It's manyhopes.org. And you can learn all about it. So that is that site. So it's getting on to the trading aspect of the channel here. So I'm going to be using a platform called Thinkorswim. I'm going to type in a hello here in the chat before I do. If I can get to it, just 1 second. Hello. Okay. This is the very first one. Probably I'll just be myself on here, but that's fine. That's the way it works when you start streaming. But this is something I'd like to do. Hopefully my audio is okay, video is okay. I will be making improvements as I go along in the technical aspects, so please bear with me if there's some technical pieces that are off. Full disclosure too, you can see within my channel too, do not copy my trades. This is just for educational purposes only, to show you some option strategies. I typically love to do the wheel strategy, which basically means that you sell puts on stocks in options, a contract, and then if you get assigned that contract, then you own the stock, and then I'll be selling what's called a covered call. So that's basically how that works. You basically sell and sell. I like it because if you invest in companies that are relatively stable, you can realize a pretty good return. It has worked for me for actually several years now, and so that's why I've decided to start teaching on this to people who are looking for a little extra income. So anyway, I hope you guys enjoy that. Hopefully I can do it on this channel. It's called Remote Revenues for a reason, so you guys can see an extra way you can earn a little extra income. But if this channel doesn't seem to be, if it seems confusing for others and I need to have something, say, trading by Vincent or something, I don't know, I can go ahead and create a whole new channel. Hopefully that won't need to be the case. But in any case, let's get into it. Today, I'm going to be doing a paper money account. Actually, going forward to be a paper money account. I will never trade on a live account of my own. Rest assured, I am doing that, but I'd like to do paper money because I could reset the value and show you how this operates and show you how this works. It gets a little confusing when you see a bunch of numbers on there, not sure how the transaction unfolded. So with a paper money account, I'll be doing the same strategies I do on my live account in essence, but it's just going to be a paper money so you can kind of see how, when I reset the money, how you can see the trades worked. And, you know, there'll be good days and bad days too. I fully admit there might be trades that we make that we have to learn from. That has happened with me in the wheel option strategies too. There's ways to do it right and ways to do it wrong. So getting into it, I did a trade. As I said, today is the second video that I've posted on this thing, on the wheel option strategy. I did a trade on NVIDIA yesterday. I'm going to do another one again on NVIDIA. They actually have an earnings call today. Again, do not try to copy my trades. I'm just trying to point out how the wheel option strategy works. And so if you see on this screen over here, you can see where we have basically the amount of the cash, which is 200,016 and 33 cents. That 1633 actually came from a trade yesterday that I did in NVIDIA, but I'm gonna reset that so that way we can start fresh again. That's one of the great things about doing a paper money account. So you will do this. Here. So there we go. So our cash again starts at 200,000. What I should have done, hold on a second here. I'm going to do something so we can see it. Oh, maybe it does it already. Let's look at, okay, great. When you reset it, actually resets the position. Actually, that's something I just learned on a paper money account. So good, we don't have any positions anymore. Okay, so let's do this strategy again today. How long will my chats last on this, my streams? I don't know, 15, 30 minutes. If it gets up to an hour, that's great, but that's nothing big crazy. I'm an accountant too, so I can actually help you guys out through the financials as well. So that'll be worthwhile too as well. So we can just kind of see the whole picture, see what the stock is trading at, what the financials are, how to do something, how to earn a little extra income and secure the premiums, right? So it's all about grabbing the premiums. So let's do a options trade today. So let's jump into a different window for 1 second before we do. Let's look at NVIDIA, for instance, NVDA. So NVIDIA is a highly traded stock. Actually, they deal a lot in the tech industry. They're based here in California. They're a lot in the AI. They're a lot in chips. And so it is going to have an earnings call today after the bell. So the premiums on this are going to actually be pretty good in terms of looking at that. Now, keep in mind too, for a pretty highly volatile stock, which NVIDIA is, you have to kind of be careful about the premiums. And let's take a look at what I'm talking about. If you go to the options trade, and here we'll say, we're already on NVIDIA. And by the way, if I'm looking to the side over here, I've got a split screen over here. So just for the video purposes, you could just see what I'm looking at. I'm looking at this screen here off to the right. So you wonder why I'm looking off the screen. I'm looking at the screen that I'm sharing with you guys. So here you see that we're actually in the buy for 10 contracts for NVIDIA. Now, of course, I mentioned we're in the wheel option strategy. So because we reset the account, we don't own any positions. So what we want to first do is sell. We want to sell a put. So over here, again, in the Thinkorswim platform, I'm going to do it this way, is sell a put. And this is where I want, and I don't want 10, I just want to do 1 as an example, because let's try to make it realistic if we had a real live account, like, you know, because the price on this is, you know, it's $496 per share. So an option contract, which are 100 shares, it's a bit pricey for that. That's what you're talking about, $49,000. So let's try to put something a little more. I'm sorry, for 1 is $49,000 for an options contract. You know, and that's why we don't want 10, because that's going to be ridiculously high for the amount of price. So if we're selling a put on this, let's look at the different strike ranges we can have and the different prices that we can look at. So we are going to go into, just bear with me while I find it. We have 1 position working. Sorry, I'm also learning a little bit too on, I don't do paper money platforms very often on this Thinkorswim, so I've got to figure this part out. So we're at 3 days, which is what we want. The strike range is there. We're just going to toggle this. Usually you can have a way to see it listed out, but that's fine for right now. See how we're going to be paid this amount? See the bid and the ask? Basically, where that falls in the middle is kind of the middle range about what we'll get. Because we're talking about an options contract, it's going to pay us in premium about $1,850 for that contract. Now that sounds great, right? To sell a put where you get $1,850 in. But keep in mind, we're selling a put that's basically at the same level the stock is currently going at. So typically an options contract, you don't want to have something that right now this is even in the money. You want to have it sell one that's going to be out of the money. So the question becomes, well, if you pick 495, right? You get $1,715 for that options contract. But even then, I particularly, especially for something that's highly volatile, you have to kind of bake in what if the stock has a bad earnings report, right? And I'm not saying that in a video was. I have no idea what it's going to report. It could report something that's phenomenal, goes to the roof, that's great. But not knowing what's going to happen, I typically like to pick something that's going to be really, really conservative. And that's just my style. You guys can pick something that's a little more risky. Again, full disclosure for you guys, do your own research. This is educational purposes only. Don't try to copy any kind of my trades that I have. But my style is just to pick something that's going to be way out of the money, because I really don't want to pick something and then later on regret, like, why in the world did I pick something that was so close to the strike price when, in fact, I'm going to get burned on it if it has a bad earnings report. So you see here, if we picked 450, right, we're getting $285 for that call, for that put. I'm sorry, selling the put. I'm even going to pick something a little further out because I want to try to make something on this paper trade account that's kind of close to like $100. Just trying to find it. Here we go. It's about 97 cents here. We'll do that. 427. It's close enough there, right? So this is telling me that at the current, and it constantly moves because of the day this is being traded right away. It's one of the things of the volatile stock is it constantly goes up and down quite quickly. So right now we're saying that in the middle range of this, we could probably get a premium on this about $99, close in that range. If I sell one put of NVIDIA at the 3-day expiration date for $427.50. So we're going to go ahead and do that. But before I place this trade, I want to show you guys something. If I were to pick something that was further out, December 1st, see how that got bumped up from about $1 to $1.64. Basically, the further you go out in time, the more of a premium you're going to get on that. Now, keep in mind, too, that can be both good and bad. It's good in the sense it won't be exercised right away. You have more time on it. But it could be bad if it kept going further and further against you. That's something that you have to kind of take into account, that you're selling a put on this. If it goes below your strike price of your put, you're going to be assigned those shares. So say in the video, we're going to drop down to something crazy like 300. Well, you have to buy all the shares for $300. Or you have to buy all the shares for the strike price, which is $425, but it's only really worth $300. So that's how you got to kind of be careful pushing it out further. Now, there's different strategies out there. Some folks like to trade 40 days out, 30 days out. I typically stay a little closer in the range. I know that it gives you less time to exercise it. And by the way, guys, I don't do a 0 DTE. I try to at least manage with a week trade. I've done 0 DTEs. It's not that I won't go back to doing that again. It's just that it doesn't really work for me that well. So in any case, I'm going to pick something that's about, I don't know, 3 days out. Like I said, 10 days out looks okay, but for our purposes, we won't. Now look what's already happened here. We went from 99 already down to 88 cents. And so it's already kind of jumped down on that. So what we'll do is we'll increase this slightly to kind of put this back in the dollar range there. So our strike price, let's just reiterate everything, is $427.50. It's 3 days out, and we're going to be selling this put, one contract at that price range there. It's about $1 to get that. So let's see if we can get close to that dollar. We'll place this trade right now, making sure everything else is okay. We'll review it. Again, when we're a paper money account, let's send it. It says it's been submitted. It has been submitted, and if we check the positions, we got it. And you see it here. Remember I talked about that. Every contract, keep in mind, is 100. So when we're saying that we're going to get about $1 for that, close to that dollar range, that's $1 times 100 on there. So we're talking about $100. So we basically got $97. You might ask, well, what's the difference between those two? If we go to the activity here, it'll show you what happened when it filled. So basically, we filled that about $98, and you got to keep in mind that the platform's going to have some fees associated. Now, I've found that different platforms have different fees. Thinkorswim has its own, of course, and then Fidelity, I've traded on there. You guys kind of have to shop around to see where the best fees are at, but every platform that I've seen has a fee associated with the options contract. I know there are some out there that are free, but you also have to keep in mind, can you really truly do well on that platform and trust the platform? And it's fine if you found something that works for you. That's great. I don't mind paying a little bit of a fee. That's if it's $98 and I'm paying what is this, $67 on that, I'm fine with that. That's I'm sorry, no, I said $67, 67 cents on the 97. That's fine by me. It's not that big of a fee, but I was able to place a trade, get it out there, and that's 3 days. So keep in mind that. So what we're saying again, we're selling a put, and our strike price is 427. As we said before, our NVIDIA strike price range right now is about 496.99. So we're saying is that, okay, if in its earnings report it does well, or does generally okay, or even a little bit not so okay, we're saying that to drop down to 427.50 is a bit of a drop, right? We're saying that it would have to drop, from, to make the math easier, 500 to 430, that's 70 points, right? That's a pretty big drop in a day. Now, if you have the highly volatile stock, it can happen. It can do that. But we're saying that that's still a pretty big jump. And so that's one of the things I like about the wheel strategy, is sometimes you can kind of find stocks that are out there, especially for earnings, where it seems a bit of a move for it to drop that far. But you do have to be careful. You have to, first of all, I highly suggest you own something that you want to sell, or sell a put on something you want to own. So like, I don't mind Google, I don't mind Microsoft, I don't mind Amazon, I don't mind Apple, things like that, right? Things that are relatively stable. NVIDIA, to me, I used to own several shares of that many years out. I kind of reduced the shares that I had on that. I do understand the company. That's been around for a while. I think it's a pretty trustworthy company, but I also don't know. You never know how it's going to do, especially when the price earnings are pretty high. I think it tells you on here, see the PE ratio is 120. Now, people often justify that, say, well, it's a high growth stock, it's a high tech stock. We can justify that. I mean, Amazon did that for many years. But you do have to be careful, because that is still really, really high for the PE ratio. So when you have something you're going to own, I typically like to find something that's in the 20 to 25. But again, this has an earnings call, and it's NVIDIA. We're selling a put, and we're putting our put strike range way down. So that way we have a buffer. If it does drop, say 70 points, well, we might get assigned the shares, but it's not going to be, we're going to not have to take that hit of the 72. So the reason why the wheel strategy is so great is that you can do these types of strategies to buy stock, but get paid for it, right? We get paid this $97. So there's a lot of videos out there that talk about the break-even price and how options work, how calls work, how puts work, and I'll do a couple of videos on that probably over time on this. But for this purpose on this stream, I just want to do live trades so you guys can see how that operates. And again, do your own, find your own research, and pick your own stocks that you would like to own and work with you. And only use capital, of course, that you can risk losing, right? You don't ever trade on something where it's like, oh my goodness, like, why did I make that trade? It's really going to set me back. So you don't want to have that happen to you as well. I said hello out here. I'm not sure if I saw anybody in the chat room over here, people visiting. It is a first stream. We'll build it from here on out, hopefully. This is obviously on my remote revenues channel. I have a group that's out there on Facebook for remote revenues. It's actually for accountants on there. A lot of accountants know that I'm live streaming on here, so they can kind of see this too for side income. So maybe this could help them out as well. But whether or not you catch me on Facebook or you catch me on YouTube, welcome to the channel. We'll be doing streamings. I will try to make it more regular in terms of when I stream. I just don't know yet what time that's going to be. And again, it'll be 15 to 30 minutes, and we'll just do it in a day, and you kind of see how this operates. And we'll see our results too. That's the point of this paper trade account. If I did NVIDIA trade and then say the stock were to drop down to 350, I'd be like, whoa, I sure missed the boat on that one, and maybe be more careful in the future, right? It's it's all about action. It's all about experience and experimentation and seeing how it operates. And I've had certain that have done very well for me and certain that have turned against me, and I've learned some lessons from that. I once had one option contract that really turned against me, and then I learned a very valuable lesson about being very careful of very volatile stocks, is they can really burn you if you're not careful. But anyway, we'll check this out tomorrow. We'll try to do a live stream once again for tomorrow. We'll keep this as a saved one. And again, I hope you guys learn from this. Again, do your own trades, do your own research on this. And if you get a chance to check out that charity's name is Our Story again. I'm sorry, Many Hopes. You can see their story on that by looking at the About section. And if you earn a little money by viewing this channel, please contribute to that charity a little bit, or a charity of your own, and just help spread some of the generosity around. Right, that's what it's all about. I'll stop the streaming for today. Hope you guys are doing well. Hope you guys have learned from this. We'll see how this operates from here on out. Take care, guys.